Yeah, Wednesday! You have reached episode 18 of the Ranting Weight Watcher. I am your host, Donato Russo. I hope you enjoy the show. If this is your first time here and you enjoy the show, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If the podcast app you're listening to me on allows you to rate the show, please leave a 4-star or 5-star rating, whatever's in your heart to leave. Any ratings appreciated. I got a preparation show waiting for you guys. I'm releasing a couple of days early in the anticipation of the Christmas holiday. Figure, get it all. We'll talk a little bit about the game plan again, like we talked about for Thanksgiving, and get you prepared mentally, because I can't prepare you physically. I will prepare you mentally for a holiday that can intimidate a lot of people, you know? So let's get into this. Journey updates. Okay, I did have a loss this week. I lost 1.8 pounds. I have 1.8 pounds of holiday weight, so still weight from Thanksgiving that I gained, remaining to lose. My total loss so far since January 2019 is going to be 108.2, and my pounds to get to 277. If this is your first time here, I have a small goal to get to 277 because, one, it is the weight I was when I started dating my wife, and two, it is also the lowest weight I achieved from the gastric bypass surgery before I started gaining all the weight back. So I want to get back to that and go beyond. And I am 10.4 pounds away from that goal. I am 16.8 pounds away from the next WW milestone, which is the minus 125 milestone. And I am 91.8 pounds away from my big goal, which was to lose 200 pounds and then reevaluate. So it was a good week overall. Nothing really to complain about. It would have been nice to get rid of all of the holiday weight before, Christmas, as Christmas approached. This episode is very difficult as I sit here recording it, because I love to talk from a position of strength when I talk to you guys. I feel like it's very difficult to speak from a position of strength as I approach the Christmas holiday. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what the Christmas holiday means in my house, what type of food is served, and hopefully how it will work out in my favor or against me. So in an Italian home, on Christmas Eve, a lot of times the Christmas Eve feast is bigger than the Christmas Day feast. In Italian culture, there's the night called the Feast of the Seven Fish. And, typically 7 different types of fish are prepared, and, that's what you eat. That stems from Catholic beliefs in waiting for the birth of Christ. It was a fasting of meat to wait for the birth of Christ. So I grew up my entire life with this kind of meal on Christmas Eve. And for the majority of my life, I've never really enjoyed seafood. It's really only recently in my adult life that I started to dabble into seafood here and there, but still I am very, very picky with what kind of seafood, who's cooking it, because I won't just walk into a restaurant and order it. I'm very finicky about how fish is prepared, because if the texture's off, I don't want it. I'm not eating it. If the smell is off, I don't want it. I'm not eating it. So there's a lot there's a lot of reasons to give fish an X in my eyes where other people wouldn't care. But this year we have some tilapia. It's going to be served. We have stuffed lobster tail. It's going to be served. We have salmon, which I don't plan to eat, by the way. And we have some shrimp reganado, which is like a shrimp with like a breadcrumb type deal. It's not fried. It's like baked, and there's like a buttery breadcrumb topping on top of the shrimp. If you've never had it before. So the fish itself is not really dangerous when you're on the WW Blue plan. I don't know what it is for the green plan, to be honest with you. I can't tell you that. But on the WW Blue plan, most of the fish is 0 points. Except for, I believe, on the Blue plan, salmon is not 0 points. But I don't eat it, so I don't know. So if you do eat salmon, you would know. I do not. And it's more about the sauces that the fish is prepared in, whatever, if it's a tomato-based sauce or if there's olive oil used in the sauce, if it's a butter sauce, whatever it is. It's the sauces that are going to make the fish either high in points or really doable, right? So we'll see. We'll have to see there. I'm not sure of the types of sauces that'll be going on it. I know the stuff that's stuffed, it's like a seafood stuffing. So I'm not sure. I'll have to look into how to track the seafood stuffing stuff on like the lobster tail, and I'll go from there. But I will have it all tracked. I don't have it tracked yet as I approach the holiday. But I do plan to have it tracked. I always have my game plan into what I'm going to do. Now, Christmas Day is not as bad as Christmas, because filet mignon is what is served on Christmas Day. So what's more dangerous to me on Christmas Day is like the appetizers, because in Italian home, you got the salamis, the cheeses, the olives, pepperoni, all kinds of very salty, very tangy, vinegary type things that are prepared for appetizers. And so I enjoy, on that day, I typically enjoy the appetizer more than I enjoy the meal. Because, I mean, red meat, it's all right. Filet mignon's all right. I just I'm not really caring. I don't care for red meat that often. Once in a while I crave and I have it, and then months and months can go by before I crave it again. And it doesn't bother me. So the filet mignon itself it's delicious. Don't get me wrong. It's delicious. It's not a weakness for me. Red meat has never been a weakness for me in this journey so far. The other things on the 2 days, on both Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, is going to be dessert, because I'm not a dessert guy in general, but there are two desserts that if they're on the table, I'm going to have it. And the first one is cookies. If cookies are on the table and you got some coffee there, you could bet you could bet a paycheck that I'm going to have some cookies and coffee, especially if you made the cookies yourself. If they're store-bought, factory, produced, then it's a little easier to say no to those. But if they're handmade from scratch, stuff like that, cookies are very hard to resist for me. They're my number one. Nothing beats a good cookie. Nothing. And the other is going to be apple pie, or any kind of fruit pie, but apple pie would be the top right? But there's other pies that, now I'm not talking about like chocolate pudding pie and all that stuff. I don't really care for that. I like fruit pies, blueberry pie, raspberry pie, stuff like that. But apple pie would be number one. And those are the only two desserts that I go crazy for. And if you follow my wife on WW Connect, you'll see that she has made like 5 or 6 different types of cookies from scratch. And each one of them is incredibly delicious. Incredibly delicious. I have sampled a few. You know, quality control. Got to make sure I get that in there. And I can't wait to have them on the night. And I will have a few. And some of the recipes I've already entered into my tracker from last year. We did the recipe builder, and then we figured out for a single cookie of that recipe, how many points is that cookie. And the majority of them end up being 3 or 4 points per cookie. Because she doesn't really skimp on, she doesn't do like a Weight Watchers type recipe for these cookies because they're once a year type deals that only happen, you know, so she goes all the way with it. We're going to talk a little more about what I plan or how my game plan works when it comes to holidays of any kind. Just so if you haven't heard the game plan theory, stick around. We're going to take a break. Stay with me, and we're going to talk more about the game plan to deal with holidays when I return.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening to the Ranting Weight Watcher. If you would like to connect on social media, we would love to connect with you. On Facebook and Instagram, search for @The Ranting Weight Watcher. On Twitter, search for @TheRantingWW. On the Weight Watchers Connect app, search for @Ranting Weight Watcher. You can also email the show, say hello, or share your story with us. Send your emails to therantingweightwatcher@gmail.com. We look forward to hearing from you. If this is your first time here, and you enjoyed the show, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If the podcast app you are listening with allows you to rate the show, please leave a 4-star or 5-star rating, whatever is in your heart to leave. Any rating is greatly appreciated. And now, without further delay, here is the star of the show, Donato Russo.
And we are back. Thanks for sticking with me. So far today we talked about the kind of food I expect on the table on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. And I'm a little nervous about the holiday because I weigh in on Saturday mornings, just in case you guys don't know, whoever's listening. And Christmas Eve falls on Thursday. Christmas Day falls on Friday. Exactly. It's like the perfect storm right before weigh-in. And, you know, what can I do? It is what it is. I'm not going to skip the holiday, that's for sure. So, all I can do is navigate the best that I can. Now, if you've been with me, you're going to hear this again, and I apologize. It's kind of a repeat. But for the newcomers, just for the sake of to ease a couple of minds in case, it's a strategy, right? I call it the game plan. The strategy for dealing with any holiday. So that at the end of that holiday, there's zero guilt. There may be a gain. Don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you that you're not going to gain weight based on your food choices on that holiday. What I'm telling you is if you game plan it the way I do and you follow your game plan, the feeling of guilt cannot exist if you've planned it ahead of time and gone according to plan. Even if you veered off of your plan slightly, the feeling of guilt cannot exist if you follow these few rules. And I'll explain. So the game plan theory goes like this. You have, and this applies to events too. It doesn't just have to be a holiday. We're talking about weddings, baby shower, wedding shower, whatever it is. It's an event, right? It's an abnormal event, and it's happening, and it's just part of life. These things happen, right? So what do is going to dictate how your end game is after the event or the holiday. Okay? The idea is, number one, you put in the work. Okay? You do the exercise. Now, before you start this exercise, what I do is, well, I always have it switched, but you guys may only want to switch back and forth for the holiday. It's up to you. But you switch the Weight Watchers app to use your fit points. Okay? And so this is going to give you a great understanding of what kind of work it takes. So this is like a double advantage to doing this. Okay? Now, this works a lot better if you have a smartwatch or a Fitbit, some sort of fitness device that you're wearing that measures heart rate. This feature on Weight Watchers works much better and is far more accurate if you're using this theory. If you're using a device like this, I'm sorry. Now, you switch the app, you have your smart device, and you go and put in the work. Now, whether that's going for a walk, whether that's going to the gym, getting on a exercise bike, whatever it is, it's your choice. And you can plan how long you want to do it for. If you want to do it for 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, whatever it is, you set the plan. Remember, this is your plan, your game plan to dealing with your event, your holiday, so that you can minimize, number one, you minimize the possibility of a gain. Number two, you minimize the possibility of dealing with guilt and shame after the holiday. And that's going to be more damaging to your journey, dealing with guilt and shame, than what you actually ate. Okay? Because that voice in the back of your head is going to make sure you remember all the things you did wrong. This is why the game plan is important. Because you switch your app to use Fit Points first. Number one, you wear your smart device. Number two. Number three, you decide what kind of work you're going to do. Number four, you do the work for however long you plan to do it. Okay? And you do it whatever day, how many days you decided you're going to do it, you do it. And I'm going to do this whole week. I went for my walk tonight. I'm recording this Monday before Christmas right now. I went for my walk tonight. I will walk again tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday morning, and Saturday morning. I will go for walks. Saturday may be after the wrapping is done, what unwrapping is done. It depends. Sometimes I wake up really early before everyone. But maybe Saturday won't happen until later in the day. We'll see what happens. But the work will get done before the meal. So that's my plan. Walk every day leading up to the day. Okay? And I'm staying clean. And when I say what I mean by staying clean is I'm staying within my points and I'm making good choices all the way up to Thursday at dinner. Right? I mean, that's including Thursday breakfast, Thursday lunch, if there is a lunch. I'm not sure what time we're eating actual dinner. Because sometimes when it's a holidays in relation, the meal starts at like 2 o'clock. So there is really no lunch. The meal starting at 2 o'clock is your lunch, and it's going right into dinner. It's not stopping. Not in an Italian house. I don't know if you've ever been to an Italian home on a holiday, but you can get there at 2 and you're still eating at 8. Still eating at 8. All right. So we're talking about an event here. This is like, training for the Olympics type of event here. And so you put in your work. You use you plan to use your fit points that you created to build up for this day. Okay? Now, before the meal begins, you decide what you're going to eat, how much you're going to eat, and when you're going to eat it. And you know what? This may turn a few heads, but this is your life we're talking about here. If you decide you're going to have, I don't even know what other people eat on, but I'll do what I'm going to do. So if I decide I'm going to have one lobster tail, right? I'm going to put it in the app before it's on my plate, before I even approach this meal. If I'm going to have a piece of tilapia, it's going to be on the app before it's on my plate at the meal. And if whatever the side dishes are, if I decide I'm going to have a cup of whatever, then there's going to be a measuring cup at the table. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. If they don't like it, they know where the door is. They can leave. Simple as that. This is your life we're talking about. And anybody who would give you a hard time, who cares? And you know what? If they're going to give you that much of a hard time where they won't take a measuring cup out you, if you're going to someone else's house, bring one with you. And when you're done using it, go and rinse it out and put it back in your purse when you're done or whatever. Put it in a bag, whatever it is. Make it disappear. But decide what you're going to eat and how much you're going to eat of it before you're at the table. This way, when you get to the table, all of the planning is done. You have put your work in. You've eliminated all the guilt ahead of time. Now, all you have to do is execute the plan you put in place. You execute that plan, there's going to be zero guilt. I don't care if you put, like with me with cookies, if I put 4 cookies there and I end up eating 5, I'm not going to feel any guilt about it. I'll just change the tracker to 5 and be done with it. Because my plan was to go and put in the work for all 5 days of the week. And then I made my plan for my fit points. I tracked my food. And if something varies that night, it can't vary. Don't go crazy with it. Give yourself the leeway to allow it to vary. But don't go so far off course it's nowhere near what you planned. Stick to your plan. And it doesn't matter. At the end of the week, if you weigh in and you gain, you'll know in your head you stuck to the plan. And nobody can take it away from you. No one can make you feel guilty for it. There's going to be plenty of people that have their own 2 cents on how you should have handled it, but who gives a crap? This is your journey. This is your life. This is your choice. And no one can tell you, especially if they're not doing anything for themselves, no one can tell you how you should or shouldn't have done this day or these days. It's your choice. Do the things I told you, and you will see at the end of the holiday you will feel good about what you did, even if the scale goes in the wrong direction. You will feel good because this kind of practice, and this is going to be, I mean, I created this game plan theory last Thanksgiving, so Thanksgiving 2019, because I was so nervous and I was so scared that I was going to derail my journey approaching Thanksgiving, that this nervousness, this fear gave birth to the game plan. And as that Thursday in 2019 approached, I executed as I saw fit. And you know what? At the end of that Thanksgiving, I felt good. I felt good because I stuck to my plan. I had everything tracked, even to the dessert. I had everything tracked. And all it was about execution. And I put in my work and I did everything I needed to do. So that at the end of the night, even if there was a slight variance, I felt good about what I accomplished. There was no guilt voice talking to me in my ear saying, "Oh, look, you blew it tonight. You blew it, guy. No going back now." There was no voice. Couldn't. He had to shut up. Oh, don't trust me. I hear that voice every once in a while. But on these holidays, since I created that game plan, he's a lot harder to hear because I did everything the way I planned. Now, I hope I didn't confuse you at all. So I'll do a brief summary and then I'll close. You're going to decide to use fit points. You're going to wear your smart device. You're going to decide what kind of work you're going to do, what type of exercise you're going to accomplish. You're going to do that exercise for however many times you had planned to do it. You're going to do all of these things with as close to a 100% accuracy as you can get. I've said this before, I'll say it again. Condom accuracy. There's not a person who's listening to me right now who hasn't trusted a condom at some point in their life. And condoms are 97% accurate, which means 3% of the time you're getting pregnant. So if you're willing to get pregnant for 3% for 15 minutes of a good time, then if you execute your plan with condom accuracy, you're going to feel just as good as you do on that night. Okay, but let me get back to it. You created your plan for workout. You execute that plan for workout. You decide what you're going to eat. You track what you're going to eat. And then when you're sitting at that table, it's all about execution. Execute with condom accuracy. Execute with 97% accuracy. You don't have to be perfect. 97%. Do this, and you will find success. And even if the scale goes in the wrong direction, you will feel the accomplishment of having created a plan and stuck to it within 97% accuracy. It is a different kind of victory, but a victory nonetheless. It's a victory for your mind, because the majority of what you're going to deal with in your journey is the mind. It's not physical. It's not the food. It's your mind dealing, you're going to have to deal with. So, We're going to end today's show a little bit differently than normal. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, our troubles will be miles away. Here we are, as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. I'm gonna hang a shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. I thank you guys all for sticking with me. Merry Christmas to you all. I love each and every one of you. God bless you all. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. We're gonna hang a shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas now. Merry Christmas, everybody. I love you all. God bless.